Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's talk show. Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Good morning and welcome once again to Perkins Online. I have a friend who is in the university hospital, desperately needs O negative blood, and they haven't got it there. So if there's anybody listening to this program who has O negative and is willing to give some blood, she could. The person's name is Hilma Walker, Ward 4, University Hospital. O negative blood. Okay, the Cricket World Cup continues. West Indies and Australia are going back to it today. And in the meantime, the police are carrying on with the investigations. They're supposed to be carrying on with the investigation into the death of the Pakistani coach. And we're getting a lot of daily dose of press conferences. There was one yesterday afternoon, and I heard two reporters on two radio stations saying that who had attended these press conferences, saying that there was this press conference, it was one, saying that there was nothing new coming out of it. Nothing new coming out. I think one was on Radio Jamaica and the other, I can't be sure, I can't be sure. But there was nothing new coming out. It may have been on Nationwide. Nothing new coming out of the press conference. Press conference held nonetheless. And there's going to be another one this afternoon. I wonder whether there's going to be anything new coming out of this one. But let me say that my impression is that Mr. Shields, I mean, he really is top line when it comes to PR, man. He just keeps the ball going. I got a telephone call from somebody at the other side of the world, in one of those Far Eastern countries, asking what is going on with this investigation. There seems to be a lot of talk, but where are the Jamaican leaders? Is Mr. Shields the Commissioner of Police? Where is the Commissioner of Police in all of this? How is he not appearing at any of the press conferences? What about the Jamaican ministers, the Minister of National Security, where he has been very silent on this matter? And what about the Prime Minister? Well, the Pakistanis did say that she had offered them her condolences, but that's about as far as it goes. And he was saying that this caller was saying that a very bad impression was being created of Jamaica in terms of the handling of this matter. You know, first of all, there was the pathological toing and froing, and the time it took to recognize that the man had probably been strangled, you know, and so on. It doesn't seem a very efficient investigation. And the question now in my mind is, you know, are the police really going to get to the bottom of this one? And what is the impression? All sorts of speculation are going to be rife out there as to who it was that killed him. I heard a Pakistani reporter, not a reporter, he works on, I think, the Pakistan Times, whatever. And he was criticizing the security arrangements at the Pegasus Hotel. But in fairness, if, as is suspected, Mr. Wilmot was murdered by a person or persons whom he knew and whom he himself admitted into his room, then what are the arrangements? What are the security arrangements that would effectively have prevented that? I don't know. Anyway, you know, Jamaica will probably take some, but I don't think that there is any suspicion abroad that he was murdered by a Jamaican, you know. And one of the curious things that is happening is that there were security tapes, but God alone knows what. We hear that they're being digitalized. Why? They couldn't be watched couldn't be viewed without being digitalized. And the digitalizing seems to be taking several days. But, you know, let's hope for the best. But I don't know how well it is going to turn out. I rather doubt that we have the technology, etc., that we need to deal with this one. I see that the Gleaner has a headline today telling us that the Director of Public Prosecutions is now in the matter, and he's saying that the police are doing a good job, I believe. Got that impression. Well, so good. So far, so good. DPP joins probe. Yes, it is the DPP joins probe is the story. And he's satisfied. Yes, his country is satisfied with the Wilmot investigation. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is that satisfies him. Because I don't know what progress is being made. What real progress? You know. Anyhow, we wish them the best. We take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Now, the other big story of the moment is the question of the boost that the People's National Party is likely to get from the Cricket World Cup. And it's, according to Mr. Pickersgill, it's handling of the Jamaican side of it. Mr. Pickersgill believes that there is likely to be a boost for the party, and he seemed to have been of the view that it was rather sort of straggling prior to this World Cup opportunity. The matter was discussed on the Breakfast Club this morning, and they had a number of what are they called? Commentators. Mr. Lloyd B. Smith, Mr. Kevin O'Brien Chan, and the general view. What's his name now? He's from the university. He writes in the Observer on a Sunday. And he had an article on Sunday in which he suggested that Mr. Golding was out of the picture, man. Sister P was far ahead on the basis of World Cup. They opened the lines afterwards, and boy, there was a flood of calls in disagreement. People saying, some of them, that the people of Jamaica were far better, more enlightened than used to be the case. I think it's, and one person did say this, that it was an insult to the Jamaican people to be suggesting, an insult to the Jamaican people to be suggesting that they were going to vote on the basis of Cricket World Cup and whether the West Indies won or lost, that was going to supersede in their minds the question of the condition of Jamaican roads and schools and hospitals, of issue of crime and national security, the issue of corruption, the issue of human rights, all of that. Right? They're going to just put that aside and vote on the basis of Cricket World Cup. I suspect that I would find it difficult not to agree with that opinion. That it's an insult to the Jamaican people to believe that they could after 18 years and all that has happened and failed to happen in those 18 years, that people would put all that aside and just vote on the basis of Cricket World Cup, right? And of whether but then if you look at the Cricket World Cup, the evidence that before us at the moment suggests that we are not getting from it the benefits that were held up before to us. The suggestion that all these people were going to be coming to Jamaica and what a boost it was going to be for the tourism industry and all that kind of thing. Well, so far there is no real evidence of that, is there? And it is a load of nonsense, to proceed to govern a country on that sort of basis. you govern a country on the basis of taking adequate care of the economy. Well, first of all, of the people, right? Providing adequate opportunities for them to be educated, for them to be kept in good health, for them to have employment, for them and decent living conditions, and to be secure in their houses and wherever they are on the streets, at their places of work, and all that kind of thing. And of course, that involves the economy being organized and in a way that will afford all these things. And all of that, none of that is happening. Not really. And so we must substitute for all of that Cricket World Cup. It's fantastic. I gather that not to be doing so wonderfully well. You know, they've lost 3 wickets and they've gone 79 runs and 27 overs are left. After 23 overs, 79 for 3, and there are 27 overs left, facing an Australian total of 322. But the master, Mr. Lara, is at the wicket, so let us see what happens. Doesn't look very bright at the moment, though, does it? Okay, let's go to our callers. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Morning to you, Mom.
Wait, good morning, Mr.
How are you?
Perkins. When you're talking about this world cricket, cricket there, and a lot of people don't so crazy about the cricket, you know.
Yes?
I don't
Why?
think so. Like football.
Eh?
Like football.
You mean people prefer football?
Yes, I think so. A lot of people play football more than cricket.
I see.
So this big expectation that they had. You don't get the thing in your hand yet, and you the big expectation.
So what do you think? That the government would have been better off organizing an international football competition?
Yes.
Eh?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I don't agree with nothing like those things. I agree about putting money into education to develop people's mind and the country. That is what I always say. And it's a disgrace because when I came back from England and see the country with educational system, it's a great disaster. Mr. Perkins, I came back here and I got a job in a financial institution and I used to rap with people a lot. And I found out that the education system was watered right down.
Yes.
You understand? And been watering down. I live into a community, a nice little community, and a lady that retired as a teacher. People just come into her because they cannot read from 9th grade, and them coming from secondary school, and they can't even read and know nothing, Mr. Perkins, nothing simple they don't know. They don't even know, can't even spell the name of the street here. And, you know, it's a disaster. And what you were saying yesterday, Mr. Perkins, when I'm listening to you about the elementary thing, I'm not a young person. You understand? So I know about the elementary system in the 40s. I went to Calabar elementary. That time is not hardly elementary. And Mr. Perkins, I didn't even have to read 6 books, you know, to be rounded up.
Yes.
Because, and I tell you, and those used to be big classes too. A teacher used to have big classes.
Yes.
I'm telling people that they used to have big classes.
I went to 2 elementary schools.
Yeah.
One in Buff Bay in Portland and the other in St. John's Bay. Right?
But I used to learn. With all the big classes one teacher had. I used to learn and I was so rounded up with geography, history, standard good English, discipline.
And I don't remember. I don't remember coming across among my schoolmates anybody who couldn't read. Anybody, let us say, above first class. At the first class level.
And
Junior
when
B.
they come out,
Junior
they
B
could
level.
master anything. They didn't have to go to secondary school, you know, because I came out fourth book. Because I took my entrance at that time. Because Calabar Elementary School would keep it to 6 book and many children go out and get skills and if they want to move on and they get good jobs too.
Yes.
Without they even going to high school.
Yes.
Because people couldn't afford the high school most times.
But you know what happened? As I was saying yesterday, one of the things that happened is that by the time the government, the Norman Manley government, came around to this idea of free secondary education, right? For the scholarship winners at least. By that time, the elementary schools had been almost destroyed.
Yes, they
right?
destroyed that.
Down and down.
Yes.
Right? And the children who could win scholarships were children whose parents had been able to afford to send them to
Mr. Perkins had came out of that
schools.
system.
Yes. Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you, Mum.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I was saying, you see, that the Norman Manley government, it seemed to me at the time, and I still believe that, was not so much interested in providing the best educational opportunities for the young people of Jamaica. What they were interested in, the secondary school, right, had a snob appeal, right? It was middle class people.
And who can pay to go to the school.
Middle class.
Yes.
The middle classes.
Yes.
Right? And to send the child of the poor domestic helper, right, to give that child to Jamaica College or St. Andrew High School or one of these places would have given the PNP a strong appeal among those classes of people in Jamaica, right? So it was another kind of fool-up thing.
Yes.
Right?
Because they don't want those people to get education.
Well, I mean,
they're going to have too much sense.
Look, they weren't going to. Look, if they had wanted to have those people properly educated, right? They would have started with the basic schools and the primary schools, right? And if you go through the primary school, even if you couldn't go on to Jamaica College, at least you would have been able to read.
And make it, man.
And you would have been able to, you would have had fundamentals of mathematics.
I know I know a lot of people never even go to a door of a secondary school.
Yes.
And if you see how they can do mathematics and read
and talk good English and all this kind of thing.
Yes.
Right? And, but education should not be a matter of social snobbery.
No, it should be for everybody.
But that is what they made of it.
It should be for everybody because it's going to build your country.
Yeah.
It's going to make it the discipline better.
And let me tell you something, you see.
People can do things for themselves because they can think.
Yes, let me tell you.
I'm going to tell you my story now. I took my entrance in 4th book.
Yes.
Into Calabar Elementary. But I was so rounded up to just 4th book, Yes. Up to just 4th book, they keep it till 6th book, but I wasn't kept in there at 4th book. I took my entrance when I was 13, and I won it for the technical school right at Hanover Street.
Yes, I remember that. Kingston Technical.
And that time when I did my entrance, it's not anybody could get an entrance there either because you have to do a full scap English, good standard English, and you have to lay out your mathematics, not shading in where me see them do it about shading and all them foolishness.
Yes.
So I did my paperwork, and when I was taking my exam, they only want 150 in the school at that time, Mr. Perkins. So you can, and it was 1,000 odd children took it because it was the only technical school around the whole island.
Yes.
So the children them came all about from the country to come and take 1,000 odd. And they only have 150 space. I didn't even know I would get a space to over, and I got a space there with my work that I did, my standard, and just only coming out of fourth book out of Calabar College School, elementary school, Mr. Perkins. When I left here, when I left technical, jobs was hard. So I went to England because the only job they were putting me in is to go with social, to go in counselor, to be a counselor or something like that. And I never wanted because I frightened of politics and all that. Yes. So I didn't see good hope here. So I went to England. You see? Because they introduced me into this party and give me form for God that I can get in a local government. The job I would love it, but I didn't love the politics thing too deep in it. Because they see how people treat politics and parties. So I went to England.
Yes.
But when I went to England, I'm going to tell you the story when I went to England and I have my 2 children now. I used to study them books because I said to myself, if I have children, I'm going to focus with my children with education. If they don't even read university, but they must get a good foundation there that they can move on. Because I don't know if I'm going to have money about university. I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking on the good foundation. So when they tell me in England that we're not to mess up with children, with what? But I say to myself, but I used to get the good colonial teaching here, so why if it changed in England? As the teacher tell me we're not to teach with children at all. But when I used to look at the books, it was watering down too there. Did you know, Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
It was watering down because when I look at my children book and I study it, I said, no, I have to go do something. I help my children to because you can't have the mathematics they were getting at the little elementary school. Was up to date what I used to get when I was at elementary school here?
Yes.
So I say, well, I'm going to buy some teachers' books to give me, to help with me, to see if the teaching has changed. And the books were like what I used to learn at Jamaica here. So I went to Birmingham Town and I've searched and I get books. Teachers, arithmetic, mathematics. I didn't know some of them, but to just refresh myself,
Yes.
I said, well, make I go buy them and stuff. And I started with my children and make them up to date. Because one day when I know my son going to go to technical school and then I'd seen him get the little elementary bus when he used to get to elementary school and him not doing it yet. I think it's strange. And I say to him, let us teach you those mathematics that you're not getting because those are the mathematics that I get at elementary school. So when you go to technical, you're going to start getting. So you must have an idea. My son said to me that I'm not a teacher. So him kind of ignored this, but I watch things, So when he went to the technical now and he came out with all these maths to do, I had to go to school one night and him come with the maths 26 to homework. Never know nothing about it because I didn't want to listen to me. And I did them. I couldn't have time to show, but it was 26. And I got a little time and did the 26 maths for him. I didn't even sure if they were all right because I was going to my school to update myself, with commercial line and so. And when him come back, I couldn't believe him say him got all right. I said, but I didn't have time to even sit on it to do it. And him said, oh, mommy, I said, I'm not a teacher, but I was taught good teaching at Jamaica.
Yes.
I don't have to go in a schoolroom to teach, and the books is there what teaching, there are buy, and you see the English books, they are very good. They're very simple. Teachers say, and they stop giving because I have a teacher right in the community, and she leave the schoolroom because of her age and doing. And if you see the big children can't read this, Mr. Perkins, and they can't spell, they don't know words, and can't communicate good and all that.
Where is it?
Right into my community, but she's a good teacher. She has some method. I don't know how she developed those methods and teaching, reading, because she said reading is what you have to do for the children and they can move on and get knowledge.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, but these people only look after themselves and mess up the whole of it. I hope I can't even communicate. If you say to a child, I don't say people not hear that growing well, but not enough of it is here at all. Too much of them out there is dumb, Mr. Perkins. I'm going to secondary school and cannot read. I couldn't believe it. No, Mr. Perkins, I can't believe it. It's when she keeps telling me and you're not.
Well, it still goes on now. A lot of children are coming out of secondary schools unable to read.
Don't even know who the Prime Minister is or the name of them.
Well, that's for that.
Like a simple thing. Mr. Perkins, it's a disaster and somebody has to come take it up,
Yes.
But Mr. Perkins, why Cuba? Cuba management is so good when you hear all of them people can educate you, then street clean, then get good medical and all them things.
You know why? You know why? It is not Fidel Castro.
I want it for money.
Well, either that, or that he is the cleverest man in the world, or anything like that. But you know what? You know what the thing about Fidel Castro is? Fidel Castro is a patriot. He's a man who loves his country.
Yes.
And if he may make mistakes, he has made a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
Right? But he did it sincerely.
Yes.
He wanted the best for Cuba and Cubans.
Because it will help everybody, even the
And if anybody were to tell me, if anybody were to tell me that Fidel Castro had a Swiss account into which he had shoveled the Cuban people's money in his own name, right? I would tell him to his face that he's a damn liar. Right?
Because you can see in the country what he's doing with the money. Because I don't think he's making only for money. Because Jamaica making money, All those remittances. I was in England and I used to see in the Jamaica paper the remittance what coming here. And I used to work at a building society, Mr. Perkins. And I used to do, that was one of my pretty jobs that I do when I come back here. The incoming mail. And if you see the amount of remittance I do a daytime and every day, because those are what I used to do. To process those checks and where they're coming from. And they get money, but what they're doing with it, wasting it, Mr. And people can't even, then children can't go to school, can't get little lunch, can't not, Mr. Perkins, can't read, can't nothing.
Yes.
Lord.
Anyway, Cricket World Cup will make up for all of that.
Mr. Perkins, I know the lot of money I hear yesterday and 106. What you have to spend for this so much million. I said, where they get that money from too? So Jamaica getting money? So where they putting it?
Yes, man. Cricket World Cup. All right?
Yes, thank you for
all the best to you. Nice hearing from you. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes?
Hi, am I online?
Yes, you are.
Oh, hi, Mr. Perkins.
How are you?
I'm actually calling from overseas.
You're calling from...
I was listening...
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm
Speak more directly into the Speak more directly into the phone for me.
Okay, can you
Yes, that's much better.
Yes, I was just listening to that lady that was on with you.
Yes.
Now, and she was quite informative, and I must commend you on your program because for people like me who left Jamaica 20-something years ago, this is quite educational. And informative. A lot of the things that were said just recently is things that I actually saw and thought as I was growing in Jamaica, and even continue to think about these days. And actually, recently I just called another show to talk about some issues that I had heard about what was going on there, and I was rudely, actually, basically told that
you're going back. Go back directly into the phone. Speak more directly into the phone.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was rudely told that, things are on the books and they have those things in place, so therefore, more or less, leave it alone. People know that it exists. So whether or not...
Hold on just a moment. Hold on a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. West Indies now 107 for 5 with 21 overs to go. Doesn't look as if they're going to beat Australia, does it? 107 for 5. It follows that they need to make something more than 10 runs and over for the other 21 overs left. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, so there are a couple points that I just want to hit on because I do listen to your program once in a while as I'm sitting at the computer writing papers because I'm currently doing my master's in medical science, and I do get a lot of information from you in terms
You're doing medicine?
What's happening.
You're doing medicine?
And
Eh?
sorry, go ahead.
You're doing medicine?
Yes, I'm actually in nursing, and I'm doing my master's right now.
Yes.
And last week, actually, a gentleman had called you regarding the situation in Jamaica, and that there are a lot of people overseas and they should come back home and that sort of stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And I totally agree with him. However, my concern why a lot of people aren't actually looking at coming to Jamaica is because the systems that are currently in place are not conducive for us to return to Jamaica.
Yes.
You've talked about it, people have called in and have also talked about it. I mean, the crime rate is so ridiculous. I mean, yes, it does happen throughout the world, but for the size of population, it's really ridiculous. And a lot of people don't want to give up what they currently have to come back into a situation that is so corrupt and that aren't really dealing with the issue as aggressively as they should be doing it. And as well, other things in terms of employment opportunities are not in place. And so a lot of us that are overseas really don't see fit, coming home to Jamaica to do anything. And also, what I've realized, too, is that a lot of people aren't willing to listen to anything you have to say because they think they know a lot, when, in fact, it doesn't matter how big your degree is or how small you are educated, we all can learn from each other. And there are a lot of things that we've learned from being overseas that we could actually bring to Jamaica and implement it and try and see if it could work. And a lot of people that I've found recently is that really they don't care for that. They think they know everything, and that because we've traveled, we know everything, and therefore people in Jamaica will just not listen, kind of thing. So that's my impression. That's what I'm getting, which is so wrong, because I know for a fact that there's a lot of friends that I have here that have really good experience that would actually love to come to Jamaica and do something about it or with it, and find it quite difficult because they don't know how well they will be accepted and received. And also, too, the governments that we have in Jamaica are so set in their own ways, and a lot of the names that I do hear today are names that I've heard since I was a child. And I'm wondering if the Jamaican people really shouldn't really look at this and maybe say, you know what, you guys need to step down and bring a whole new set of ideas and people into that parliament, so that we can give the Jamaican people what they haven't been getting for years.
Uh-huh.
Because they're so set in a lot of ways that are really not helping the people. Like the lady before talked about the educational system and how much better it is in Cuba. And I've been to Cuba 2 times, and I tell you, like, there are so many people there that are highly educated. I mean, you walk on the beach, and the person that's selling on the beach has their PhD, their master's, and you name it. And why can't we have that in Jamaica? That's my question, where you have a lot of people that are educated that can actually offer to the system. But as that lady, and you also mentioned that maybe the reason why that's not the case is because if you can keep the people ignorant, then you can also have the power over them to do whatever you wish. And I hope Jamaicans can actually open their eyes and realize what's going on around them and actually say, you know what, enough is enough. We don't need this. We need better.
Okay, Mom. Lovely hearing from you. Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. P. How are you keeping?
Not too bad, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. We're getting some rain there.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Well, they're not getting it apparently in St. Kitts.
Oh, no, they're not.
Uh-huh.
And because you're a former schoolmate that he wasn't in school with yesterday.
Boy, I hear he's down there.
I saw him on television, man.
Yes.
I saw him.
Cheering on the West Indies, man.
Yeah. But
hoping for the boost.
Yes.
That will come out of victory in this match.
It's better. I hear somebody say Britain should give Jamaica $77 billion as reparation. Well, I could suggest to Britain, if ever that money is going to come to us, who and who should handle that money for us?
If Britain were to give Jamaica 77 billion pounds, right?
Yes.
I wonder what would happen to it.
I could tell you who could be the manager of it. Well, we set up a committee. I could tell you who chaired the committee.
I see.
It should be dismissed. Anyway, listen to a load of rubbish. This morning, I was listening to the club, to the Oxfordian, and a
Yes.
man from up in Manchester named Mr. Lloyd Goodley.
Yes.
And he was over himself that this is a world-class stadium. World-class this and world-class and what we're going to gather in the years to come. You understand how much money Jamaica, and you need a world-class stadium for world-class matches and world this and world that and world. Man, these men are a pack of jokers.
You know what we need?
Yes.
We need in this country, sir.
Yes.
A world-class education for our
Yes.
children.
For the Jamaican
A
children.
world-class health care system.
That's right.
A world-class security system.
Yes.
Right?
I tell you about a man who went to Anatomy and spent 1 week. He came out yesterday and he called me to tell me that the bill was $11,000 for 1 week.
In the hospital?
At Anatomy Hospital. They nearly kill him with tin mackerel and sardines. Tin mackerel and sardines till it nearly come through his system.
Yes.
That's all they were feeding him on. He was glad to get out, despite he was very ill.
Well, you know the problem with you people down in St. Mary.
What is it?
What you need is a stadium down there so that World Cup cricket can be hosted there. And then they would have to improve the quality of the hospital and so on.
Right. I'm certain about that. Because the man who's got a stadium up in Sligoville, it has just come to him that we're charging GCT and people who come to see lawyers for litigation.
Yes.
It just come to him that should be abolished.
Yes.
Let me tell him a story. In 1990.
I agree with him to a degree. It's the brightest thing I ever heard him say.
In 1990, when the former Mr. Seaga's government lost,
Yes.
they were the beneficiary of the General Consumption Tax, 1990.
Yes.
And the General Legal Counsel, and I think if you check with Mr. Frank Phipps, or Sir Frank Phipps, he will tell you that they says,
I don't think he wants that.
you try.
I don't get the impression that he's interested.
No, they're trying to put it out of the reach.
Yes.
To get lawyers and get defendants. You're putting that out of the reach of poor people because they shouldn't put GCT on that. And you know, it come to me. We paid 19 million to defend some people the other day up in Coral and what they do. Have they paid GCT on that money?
Well, the government paid the lawyers.
Yeah, I hope they paid GCT on that money.
So the defendants wouldn't have any obligation to pay any GCT as far as I'm aware.
Oh, so the government will pay the GCT on
will
their
pay
behalf.
whatever there is to be paid. Yes, man.
Oh, I listened yesterday evening.
But you know, sir.
Yes.
When you think of poor people finding themselves in need of a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
To defend themselves in a criminal matter, first of all.
That's right.
And the cost of it, which is already high for them.
Yes.
And possibly beyond the reach of many of them.
True.
Being added to by them having to pay GCT.
Of course.
Well, I think that this is cruel in the extreme.
It was protested at
and I think that Mr. Knight is right on that. Okay? Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. Hello?
Yes, sir.
West Indies are now 121.
Yes.
For 5?
Yes. And 19 over left.
19 overs to go.
Left. And they need to make 10 points something and over.
More than that, it would seem to me.
Just 10 points something.
They need 210. Yes, it's about 11 and over. Yes.
Well. No, I'm not saying that Mr.
That's
Knight...
That's a lot of runs against that quality.
A lot of runs, because they got a lot of bowlers, and good bowlers too.
But Sir Brian is there still. He is
Yes, he's putting a rear guard battle up. You understand?
But he's not looking at the moment as if your party is going to get the
mileage that we want.
The
mileage.
Yes.
The mileage that we want. You know?
The boost. The boost.
Oh, Long Jungle said we're going to get a hell of a boost
Yes.
out of this. You know, I have always feel, and on the evidence of it, that Wrong Jungle is contemptuous of the Jamaican people, including me.
Well,
a man who is proud that I went to England. Very proud. Wrong Jungle telling us a whole lot of damn foolishness.
No, sir, but you must remember, you know, that Wrong Jungle thinks that it is best for them to form the administration.
And anything.
So anything that will lead them or cause them to be in office,
yes,
they regard as being best for the country and in the best interest of the country.
Right.
So that is what makes Cricket World Cup
yes.
of so much interest to them.
Yes,
you know?
Well, you know, a man went before the court one time in England, you know, and the judge said to him, my good man, you don't guess you're not making a success of stealing? Why you don't leave it alone? You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. He stole something that was free, an embassy coupon
yes.
out of the embassy cigarettes. He says, then you could have it for free. And you stole this? Can't you see you're not making a success of it? Why don't you leave stealing alone? Now, I listened to Mr. Richard Small yesterday evening.
Yes.
On Nationwide.
I heard that.
And Ellie Bert Samuels.
Yes.
And the judiciary, the mess it is in, as far as coroner's court, not coroner, coroner's court,
yes,
is concerned. Now, $9 billion could have fixed all the courts, could fix all the courts in Jamaica,
yes,
and let people, there is hundreds of coroner's cases.
There are over 4,000 cases
yes,
waiting to be heard.
4,000 cases waiting to be
and
heard.
Some of them over 4 and 5 years.
Yes,
yeah.
I can tell you more than one over that, because I'm connected to, but anyway.
But you know, World Cup cricket, man.
World Cup.
World Cup cricket is going to bring all this to attention and cause it to be adequate, to be properly dealt with, you know.
Yes. Look, I tell you, they're taking us for a bunch of Mickey Mouse. Bunch of Mickey Mouse.
Well,
you used to have a batsman.
What is important, you know,
yes,
is not who thinks that I'm a fool.
Yes.
But whether I think that I'm a fool.
True. That is perfectly so. And we had the Gregorius professor on this morning too.
Yes.
You did hear him?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
He was nervous.
Boy, I would love to see to get the text of that speech.
Yes, he was in all his glory. And one of the hosts says, I could have you all day. I could have you all day if we had the time. Now, these people spend time...
hold on, I said something a while ago. It isn't so much whether I think that I'm a fool, as whether I am a fool. If I'm not a fool...
Yes.
Feel free, think of me as a fool if you like.
Yes. Well, we say in Britain...
Yes.
If you have the same brains that you have now on top of what, if you have twice as much, you'd still be a dimwit.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying to some of them.
Anyway, you heard the Gregorius professor.
I hear the Gregorius professor.
And you were impressed?
Impressed? I was never impressed with that bloke. I was impressed with Mr. Richard Small and Mr. Bert Samuel.
Yes.
He says what is happening, and the jurors in the coroner's case, they're moving around like...
Professional jurors.
Musical chairs.
Yes,
yes. One is the foreman juror this week, and next week he's at the back of the jury room. He's a member of the jury too. But next week he come back as the foreman juror again. We're moving with the same pool of jurors. Nothing new.
But you know, sir, if that is happening in the coroner's court.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
If the jury in the coroner's court is being manipulated.
That's right.
What is to prevent the jury being manipulated in a murder case?
You tell me.
Right?
You tell me, sir. I would like to know.
Well, I would like to know too.
My headmaster would say, that is a citadel of sin, a citadel of corruption. You cannot have that sort of business going on and talk about a judicial system.
Well.
And my learned friend will get up and start shouting and his two hands waving like a plane wing. If you cut off his hands, he would be speechless. He couldn't talk. And this is a system that the Jamaican people have to go by, and you tell me about World Cup. Mr. P.
Why don't we try to create for ourselves a world-class judicial system?
That's right. That's right. That the people feel that they are getting justice.
Yes.
I am upset with these nonsense mileage. None of these little blokes can befuddle me. They cannot give me a 6 or a 9. All these Oxford. I've been to Oxford, but I only drive a lorry to Oxford. I drive a lorry to Oxford. I can tell you how to get to Oxford and how to get to Cambridge. Because I drove long distance lorry for about 5 years. You understand? And I drove to Cambridge and I drove to Oxford making deliveries. But they're here fooling up the Jamaican people. Brother Nancy is alive and well in Jamaica. Alive and well. What are you telling people about mileage to begin? And people can't get good hospital treatment. You can't get good hospital treatment and a week in the hospital. I can send you a copy of the bill. And the man said, call my name. $11,000 for 1 week. Sardine, tin mackerel. That is what he get there. And then you're talking foolishness. Look what happened out at Broadgate. Look at the bridge. And the lady is called upon, a pregnant lady. The bridge come down with her through no fault of hers. The bridge come down with her. She broke her leg. And she's asking to put up some how much $1,000 up front. What sort of mad lunacy that is?
So where is she now?
I don't know if she come out to hospital yet. I don't know if she come out yet. I passed on the other day.
So she presumably put up the money?
Yeah, because Pippi, I suppose our family put it up because Pippi got an offer and them chased him away with it.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, they chased him away with it. He won't come to your program and tell you any nonsense. He's just keeping out a deep. He must come to you and make you get to bowl some hardball at him. Mr. P, the showers is coming down. I better leave you now.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to me.
All the best to you.
Good, sir.
Good. Hello? 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 Okay. We have no callers. If you want to get in now. Anyway, what is the score, I wonder? No more wickets, I hope. 144 for 5. And how many overs to go? It's not really looking as if the boost is likely to emerge from this match. The government had better find something else to get a boost out of. Hello? Hello?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Morning to you, ma'am. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good.
In terms of your friend that you spoke of this morning, Miss Wilmot Walker.
Yes.
I need to ask her a question. Is it a surgery that she's doing?
I am not I'm not sure.
Well, just to give you a little bit of information that I have in terms of medicine. I'm not a medical doctor though. But I realize now that there are a few developments in the medical field. And for one thing, for persons who are doing surgery, they can do it without the use of blood.
Yes.
For example, you have the fibrin glue pad. That's when the person when the surgeon makes an incision. That the section where he cuts, the fibrin glue pad, what it does is that it stops the blood from going to waste.
Yes.
So that could be used. You have another method that they call the hemodilution, where they could dilute the blood with water so that the blood doesn't waste at the end of the surgery. They ended up back using just the blood and they ended up using the blood and the water alone is wasted.
I see.
However, if she...
Hold on a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello? 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 What's happening? We seem to have lost her.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning. Actually, the thing is, when that man comes on, you lose a lot of listeners. Not listeners, but phone calls, because he tends to go on a lot and people tend to hang up.
Is that so?
Yeah, but that's all right. I like listening to him. You know, I hope your friend does get blood, because that is such a shame in this day and age. That,
yes,
you know,
it is.
The blood bank has nothing in stock. You know.
Well, I gather they have blood, but you know they're short on
of O negative.
O negative, yes.
Anyway, I went to buy my Easter things yesterday. I bought a tin of ackee for $15.95.
At $15.95.
Yes.
One can of ackee.
Sir. One tin of ackee, and they're flying off the thing because people can't get it over here.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, I see.
And I bought my HDB bun. It was nearly $6. But you know, Jamaica.
So hold on a little bit. You heat hockey in the United States too?
Of course I eat ackee. In fact, I regret now that I didn't like it as much when I was living in Jamaica, because
you know there's a famous Jamaican musician, you know, who was being interviewed, we're told, on some American station, and the word ackee was mentioned, you know, and he said, you know, in Jamaica we don't play hockey, we hate hockey.
It's just to show you about, you're talking about her educational system. You know, I got this, I really have not listened to Jamaican TV and everything for years, but I got this subscription the other day because of the cricket. And I mean,
you were coming here to cricket?
No, I wasn't coming. I bought a subscription on the TV, you know, the 102 and the TVJ and everything. They have Jump TV where you can buy these things and watch it.
I see.
And I am just shocked at how people speak on TV. Kids at school.
Yes.
I mean, we used to be able to talk properly. And I know that, I mean, I still have my Jamaican accent. I'm not putting on any twang, but I still talk properly.
Yes.
And it is just shocking that people just can't speak.
What did you hear?
Oh, just the way they talk. I mean, kids, you know, they're doing all these, I don't know, it just sounds, maybe because I don't live there, it sounds strange, but I just remember people being able to speak English properly when I lived there.
Oh, Lord.
You know?
Well, I hope we're not making too bad an impression.
No, I still love Jamaica, but it's just a shame that we haven't grown up and throw these people out. Somebody needs to march on Parliament and throw them out and tell them what to do.
Why don't you come home and lead the charge?
Are you crazy? They'd probably kill me.
So how are things in San Antonio?
San Antonio is really warm today. About 70-something degrees. We've had a lot of thunderstorms and we've had a lot of rain, but today's really nice.
Yes.
And I'm sorry about the West Indies. Look like they're going down.
It doesn't look good at this point.
No, it doesn't. Unless a miracle is pulled
Oh
out.
my gosh, you heard the news? Lara is gone.
Oh my goodness.
6 wickets down.
All right, hang it up.
Well, it was lovely hearing from you.
Yes, sir. You take care of yourself.
Okay, I'll try. You and you too.
Bye-bye.
All the best. Well, it looks as if it doesn't look as if Mr. Pickersgill is going to get the boost he hoped for from this aspect of the Cricket World Cup. That 331, whatever it is, seems out of reach at the moment. Hello?
Hello there, Mr. Perkins.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. Fine, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I just read recently where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs buying some BMWs, 20 BMWs.
I heard that they were getting some BMW. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they're buying it
How
or...
can they get them, or are they purchasing them, or...
I am not sure, sir. I think at one point I heard that that BMW was... I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, what I read in the papers was that they were being given at concessionary prices.
Well, maybe that, yes.
Yeah, but what does a Ministry of Foreign Affairs needs with 20 BMWs?
Well, they were going to be used. They were going to be used to...
transport officials for the World Cup.
For the World Cup.
Yeah, but they had buses also.
Eh?
They had buses also.
Oh, yes. But no, the BMWs were for the officials. The buses would have been for the ordinary tourists.
General public.
Yes. No, no, man. Not the general public at all. The tourists.
Oh, for the tourists.
The visitors who were coming to watch Cricket World Cup.
What will happen to those 20 BMWs after World Cup?
Oh, but come now. What do you think?
The boys there will get them.
What? Well, and the girls too?
Well, boys and girls, male and females.
Yes.
While the police cannot find vehicles to attend to break-ins, killings, fights, and other criminal activities.
Well, too bad. We have lived with that for a long time. We'll continue to live with it, I suppose.
On the cost, a BMW 5 Series manufacturer's retail price is $43,500 US. No, how much does it cost for a Toyota Corolla that the police uses?
Oh, a lot cheaper than that.
We could probably buy 3 Corollas for the price of a BMW.
Oh, yes. But you see, it's important that the police in the areas where the World Cup people are going to be have access to adequate vehicles, you know. But where ordinary Jamaicans live, that's not too important. I mean, there are some stations where they haven't even got one vehicle functioning.
No, 20 BMWs at approximately 43,000 is nearly 800,000 US dollars. Right? Can we afford to spend 800? You know, I've been all over the world and I've seen government vehicles that typical, as you would call them, civil servant uses in these countries. And they are the bottom of the line vehicles.
Yes.
Some doesn't even have hubcaps on them. And we, as a small country, are going to afford BMW.
Well, I don't think it is civil servants who are going to be getting these. I rather doubt that.
So who will be getting them then? Where will they be going?
I mean, I suppose
who's paying for it? Isn't it the people of Jamaica paying for these BMWs?
I suppose so. Yes.
So it must be people in that ministry or other ministries that will be using them.
I suspect that what will happen is that they will go to the genetically linked.
At the expense of the Jamaican taxpayers.
What's new about that?
No, man. People in Jamaica need to rise up, man.
Where have you been?
Where have I been? I've been around.
Eh?
No, but when you think about it...
No, you seem to be walking around with your eyes and ears closed.
It looks that way.
No, man.
Oh, man. But it's time now, man. I just can't see this happening. 20 BMWs? What the hell they need with 20 BMWs? 5 Series?
Well, I mean, BMW is a nice vehicle, you know.
I do agree with you.
It's a posh
in
thing.
Jamaica. Yeah, and then you're knocking down the little people for GCT and...
You hear the score?
No, I haven't heard the score.
172-47.
Oh, you can forget it then, Mr. Perkins. We're gone.
You can forget it.
Yeah, forget it. We're gone.
I am not in that.
That.
But he's in that. He very well is in that down there.
I understand he's down in
yes, he
cricket,
was.
Man.
He was seen on the television and.
Did he fly down in his private jet or
I am not sure. I am not sure. But he was doubtless hoping, because he has said, you know, that he's not prepared to live in Jamaica under the Labour Party government.
GLP government, right.
Yes. So
he's hoping that the West Indies would have wanted to boost up the election.
He needs a boost. They need a boost from the cricket.
Yes.
You know?
And it's not from a turbocharger.
Quite. You know?
It's from the World Cup cricket.
They need.
What an insult.
They need the West Indies to win the World Cup.
Yeah, what an insult to the Jamaican people. What contempt they have for these people, that they're going to use World Cup cricket.
Yes.
To influence them to vote for a particular party.
Yes.
You see what contempt
and
they have.
And while the roads are in the condition they're in,
is in a mess.
The hospitals are in the condition they're in. The
right?
schools are producing
on
children
we can probably name what is working and name what is not working. We can probably name what is working, count what is working,
yes,
compared to not what is working.
Absolutely, yes.
Anyway, Mr. Perkins, you take care, sir.
Okay,
continue.
Thank you very much. Hello? Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. And I'm just being reminded that the 37 BMWs were a gift to Cricket World Cup.
According to Mr. Bryan.
Yes, according to Mr. Bryan, in Jamaica.
Yes.
And after the Cricket World Cup is over, 20 will go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
And the other 17 will be sold. Okay, we have here a bit of information about a story carried yesterday in the...
Well, it's dated, it's last updated at 22 hours on the 27th of March, which was yesterday, 2007.
But is this the Daily Mail?
The Daily Mail, the London Daily Mail, and it's on their website.
And yesterday, it was published yesterday. Okay.
It's last updated.
Yes, okay. Okay, go ahead and read it. It's about the...
It says, Wilmot will have a second autopsy. A second post-mortem examination is to be carried out on cricket coach Bob Wilmot to guard against any future claims that the first test was botched. It has been revealed. The announcement came amid a speculation that Jamaican government pathologist Eri Shashaya may have made mistakes that have beset the murder investigation. Police fear that anyone ultimately charged with the crime will attempt to smear his findings as flawed. Jamaica's Deputy Police Commissioner Mark Shields, the man leading the inquiry, said yesterday he was 100% certain that Mr. Shashaya was correct with his verdict. There is very clear evidence of murder, some of which I will not disclose to anybody, he said. Explaining his decision to ask for a second independent test, however, he said, if we arrest someone this week and charge them, the defense counsel...
If there was someone...
If we arrest someone this week and charge them...
This week?
I read the sentence again, it's a quote. If we arrest someone this week and charge them, the defense counsel will want a second post-mortem, unquote. This is in the London Daily Mail.
Yes. So
written by the journalist called David Jones.
Yes. Is he thinking it likely that somebody will be arrested this week?
I don't know. This article is just quoting the Deputy Commissioner saying this. To continue with the story, a future jury might also feel an independent examination should have been carried out. The new inquiry, which will probably be conducted by a pathologist from overseas, should allow Kingston coroner Patrick Murphy to release Mr. Wilmot's remains for burial in the next few days. Mr. Murphy had previously indicated that the Pakistan cricket coach's body must remain within his jurisdiction until the inquest is concluded. The prospect of a speedier funeral will come as some small comfort to the coach's grieving widow Jill, who is waiting to bury him near their home in Cape Town. Mystery has surrounded Mr. Wilmot's death since he was found by a chambermaid in his 12th floor hotel room in Kingston 11 days ago. And this is from the Daily Mail, as I said, datelined March 27th, written by journalist David Jones.
Well, I'm just wondering how impressive all this is seeming to the rest of the world. Okay, thank you very much. Hello? 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 Boy, what's going on? Why are we having this problem today? Hello? Anyway, I take it that Mr. Shields will be asked about this matter at the press conference today. So there should be something new coming out of this one. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Good morning, I beg your pardon.
Good morning. Mr. Perkins, how are you doing?
Not too bad, how are you?
Give thanks. Give thanks. Man, we're going to win, man.
I beg your pardon?
We're going to win, man.
We're going to win?
Yeah, man.
To win what?
We're going to win the match. West Indies going to win, man.
We're going to win the match?
Yeah, man.
How?
What do you mean? And a batsman in there, you know. Bat to ball, bat to ball.
Bat to ball. How many overs left to go?
I don't see. Come up here. I don't know how much overs left.
8 overs to go.
Why?
And they need, and they're at 192 for 7. So they're going to need another from 8 overs. They're going to need more than 130 runs. 140 runs. No? About 140 runs.
Yes, something like that.
From 8 overs?
Oh boy. I tell you.
Huh?
I tell you, no, go on, man. Me just a bluff, you know.
No. So, I mean, we're not going to get the boost we need.
Well, but the position is this, man. For them talking never really touch me, you know. No, because from me, see them take $9 million and go buy a ball for high up in the year. I mean, I hear nothing. Any boost come off it, and it's the same thing. And as I see him Prime Minister, I did take.
But hold on a little bit. Wasn't that before the last? Was it before the last election?
What?
They may have got a boost from it, you know.
You know, I don't think so. Was it before?
Yes, man.
I think so, you know.
Yes, man.
I think so.
I'm sure they got a boost.
What boost? I'll tell you. Yesterday, you see, there was a lady called yesterday and read a scripture from the Bible.
Yes.
Right? I'll back her up, you know. Because there's a gentleman been calling you, and he must be calling you from Montego Bay or something like that. And I guess your program ended him yesterday. Because he been asking you some people foolishness, so I don't understand. I don't know if he is a preacher, if my pastor or what, I don't know. But he always quote the Bible to you. And in Jeremiah 23, verse 16 says, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophet that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vain of their own heart and not out of their mouth. Out of the mouth of the Lord.
I see.
So, all of them will prophesy and so forth. It says, Therefore, behold, I am against the prophet that saith the Lord, that steal my word, everyone from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophet, saith the Lord, that use the tongue.
They lost another wicket.
They lost
199 for 8.
Yeah. They lose the tongue that say, he said.
So there are 2 wickets to go.
Yeah. Behold, I am against them that prophesy. That prophesy the dream, saith the Lord. So, these men were a prophesy, and so forth, and as this lady did prophesy, and this man been calling her, from him here, the lady said that him prophesy, God prophesied to her, and so on and so on. He been calling you and quoting and talking to you about the Bible all the while, and me always listen him, and so forth. Is that the way him talking to you, me don't understand him too tough, because him not talk to you the right way. Him a put something but down your throat. He say, if you want to believe the Bible, there are words and chapters and verses in the Bible that you will understand. Some of it, as people say, well, it contradicts one another. But it will. There are words in there that we can understand and that you can believe. So when him putting it to you, me don't understand him. So me read this, make him hear it today. About the prophet.
I see.
Say God say him not like the person who prophesy, say him say. And him not say anything like that. Because anybody can get up and say him a prophet.
I'll follow you. There are such things as false prophets.
Yeah.
I see. And there are prophets who are in the business for to try and wreak political advantage.
Of course.
I see what you mean.
Of course. Anybody can get up and talk. Yeah. God doesn't speak to you, he doesn't speak to your heart.
Yes. Yeah. If somebody tells you that God sent them to do this, that, or the other, what do you say to that?
Him say must test the spirit. It is in the Bible in red letters. Him says test the spirit, because there are lots of false spirit out there, false prophets out there.
I follow you.
So they test the spirit.
I see. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
Fine. I'm listening to you, and, I wondered, I have a comment before I even start. I think we should check into this car, these BMWs that was given to ICC. If it were given to ICC, why is the government are going to getting them?
Why not?
If they were given to the ICC World Cup cricket, why is the government?
No. My understanding is that they were given to the Jamaica organization.
But, okay. This is where I think communication breaks down in camp, and this is where the Travagora thing actually is still on the chopping table. The communication level in Jamaica is so bad, and that's why and that's why it's the same thing with this murder of the culture of Pakistan. When you have bad communication, or it could be purposely, I don't know. This is the thing that can come about. If a cars are given to the organization, it should stay with the organization. It shouldn't go towards the government. And if it's given and if it goes to the government, that's a lot of money. So we should definitely check this out.
Well, a lot of money, sir. So was $31 million.
Exactly.
A lot of money.
I think it said 10 are going to the government.
And You know, there's a company, a name I heard. I have it written down somewhere, but I have to. I am beginning to believe. You remember Mr. Buchanan?
Right.
Said that the money had been, an emissary had taken the money to Trafigura.
Which is ridiculous. These are
no,
words.
I am hearing a story now that may well turn out what Mr. Buchanan said may well have some truth to it. In that the money was not delivered to Trafigura direct from Jamaica, and indeed may not have been sent from the PNP, but might have been dispatched by another company to Trafigura.
And that again, this is how the government communicate, and this is how the government can convey itself to the people of Jamaica. And the people of Jamaica somewhat accept it.
31 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
And I don't think that the party would find it easy to just dip into its pocket and take out 31 million.
Where is it coming from? And the fundamental questions hasn't been answered in that case. The Jamaican people want to hear clear and straight. What was the money for? And if it was a gift to the party for campaign, a campaign gift or whatever it is.
Yes.
Why are we accepting, especially that large sum of money from a foreign company? Is there something behind this?
Good question, sir. Good question.
These are the inquiry that the Jamaican people want to know. Forget about.
But why would Trafigura be so interested
of giving Jamaica $31 million?
Precisely.
Okay.
Why 21 million?
We want this. This is it. I think Sister P, the honorable Prime Minister, think that she's going to dance around it. And come election, people are not going to remember this. And I hope the Jamaican people remember. But I want to talk about something that I'm somewhat important.
Yes.
A little bit more important. I think I was reading an article in the paper that there was a locked door meeting that they want Jamaica to become a first world country in 20 years.
Uh-huh.
And I read the article and I said to myself, great thinking. But I wonder if Sister P ever sit down, or when she come to the U.S., for example, travel around the country and find out what our first world country is. It strikes me. It really strikes me.
Yes, I wonder what she means by a first world country.
I wonder what they mean by that. I can tell you this. I happen to live in the U.S. for over 20 years now.
Yes.
Love Jamaica. Jamaica is a first world country by beauty and by natural resources. Well, let me tell you something. Jamaica has gone back in the last 20 years.
Yes.
I live in the United States, different places over the last 20 years, and I have never have water. I've never get up one morning I don't have water in my tap.
Yes.
Never.
Uh-huh.
And there are people living right now, I know close relatives of mine are living in Jamaica, haven't got water for the last 10 years.
Yes. There are people who live in Jamaica, sir, who haven't got piped water going to them at all. I mean, But this
is it now, Mr. Perkins. When I was a little boy in Jamaica, I remember we used to go on the roadside, because my family wasn't rich, in the country part. We used to go on the roadside and take our buckets with water from the pipe.
Yes.
That was clean water.
Uh-huh.
These people now don't even have that.
Yes.
And I heard someone from, I think the Water Commission came and said something really ridiculous. I was wondering where this person is coming from. He's proposing that people in Jamaica should build tanks. Because that's more efficient for them to get water.
Uh-huh.
Do you know the water coming from the rainwater is sometimes polluted, is not all clean?
Yes.
Because certain chemical goes up in the air. Remember, we're living close to the United States. Jamaica is not a different planet, and pollution travels. It doesn't have any border. So when the rainwater falls, some places, for example, in New York, you can't drink rainwater. It's very polluted.
Yes.
So I don't see what these people are talking about.
Martin, there are ways of cleaning it up.
Of course, but the fact of the matter, most people who drink rainwater, of course, emergency is great. That's a great idea for emergency. But I don't see why the average Jamaican cannot have rainwater, cannot have clean water coming to their house. I don't see why. You know, the money that we borrowed, the billions and billions of dollars that we borrowed, almost everyone in Jamaica should have access to clean water.
Yes.
And if we're going to talk about...
Yes, but that is not what government in Jamaica is about. Right?
I don't know. Now, the next thing the gentleman was talking about with the car, I read an article about the same thing with the ambulance. They bought this ambulance from Mercedes-Benz. And I say to myself, this is the way the Caribbean, if we are going to be CARICOM, are we going to be moving towards a second world country, towards going to first world? We have to...
Are we a second world country? So what is the second world country?
I don't even know, but I guess second world will be between...
And we talk about... She spoke about a developing country. Is Jamaica really a developing country?
No, Mr. Perkins. I tell you why I say this. I said no. As you talked about what moving to a developing country needs, proper education is the first thing.
Yes.
Okay? Because we are educated workforce. You cannot move people forward. Okay? Someone's going to come and build a factory, they're going to pay you cheaply because that's what you're worth.
Yes.
Okay? If you're educated, they have to pay you more. If they can come to Jamaica, for example, and open up, I'll give you an example. I was reading an article that this company, this chip company, Intel.
Yes.
Intel is opening a $2 billion plant in China. Why not in Jamaica? Jamaica is just right off the course. Why not in Jamaica?
Yes, quite. Because, sir, Jamaica is not a developing country.
Exactly.
A developing country sets out to make its country, its environment, into one that is attractive to investors.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because it is the investors that are going to introduce the technology,
right, and
create a demand for the labor, and provide therefore jobs for people and opportunities for these people to create wealth and to share in that wealth that they have created.
If the workforce is not educated, then that's one of the...
That is one of the inhibitions, yes. But in addition to that, sir, the government of Jamaica, the present government of Jamaica, has proceeded on the basis that the owners of capital are to be encouraged to put their capital into government paper. Right? The capital that they could have invested in the productive process,
right,
they are to take and buy government paper so that Dr. Davis will have some money to spend.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that
is not a process that is anyway contributing to the development of Jamaica.
We are not building wealth. But I was going to go back to my first thought I was saying about on these ambulance. What if it would have been more cost effective to me if some company or some part in the Caribbean, I don't care, in Jamaica, of course, I prefer in Jamaica. You come to the US, for example, I go to Europe, whatever, and buy a stripped down van. And some company in Jamaica could have opened up a place where they could modify these ambulance to suit the Caribbean need. Every country have their own little needs.
Yes.
First of all, you get it at a lot cheaper price. Then you're creating a job within that country. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yes.
But why go to Europe and bought these Mercedes-Benz? And why Mercedes-Benz? Mercedes-Benz is supposed to be what high-end vehicle. Why even... Come on. What you're doing, you're spending the people money. You're actually wasting. Let me use the word waste. You're wasting the people's money. And down the line, what happened down the lines, you could have bought 50 ambulances instead of 20. or even double.
Yes.
So in the long run, the people in Jamaica would have a better access to health, to the health system in Jamaica.
Yes.
And this is where the government in Jamaica, I think the lady called from Houston, Texas. No, it wasn't Houston, but another place in Texas.
But you realize, of course, that part of the problem in Jamaica is that the politicians are in a different camp, you know.
Yes.
They have an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
They and their family, paid for by the people of Jamaica, the public of Jamaica, which allows them to summon an air ambulance and go off to the United States for treatment. Okay?
I think we had this argument before, remember?
Yes,
a
indeed.
couple months ago?
Yes.
And that's wrong. Wrong.
They don't have to live with what they have created.
Well, Mr. Perkins, you know, I know you got to go soon. The news is coming up.
Yes, I do.
Unfortunately, the Jamaican people deserve some of this because they keep on putting these people back in power.
I don't know, sir. Anyway, thank you very much. All the best to you. That brings us to news time. We'll be, let me just tell you that the match is over. Australia has won. There is no boost to come from this match. Anyway, we'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Back here online. The match has gone the way of Australia. So there's no boost there to be had by the government. Sorry for them. But far worse than that. More violence in school. This time Kingston Technical High School. You know? What a horrible story. Number of boys wounded, getting knife wounds, and they're all now being questioned at the Central Police Station. When do we really understand what is causing all of this? And why it is? How many years ago was I telling you that things were falling apart? The centre couldn't hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the land. You know, I wish that I had turned out to be wrong. But it is happening, and it is going to happen worse than this if we go on the way we are. As a society, we are blighting the lives of our children. Our greatest industry in Jamaica is the destruction of human potential. We are destroying our people. You remember what that military officer said? The head of the army, that it is no use going after the gunmen if the factory that is producing them remains open and working. We take a break. We'll come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Jamaica has become a factory producing gunmen and murderers and knife men, and you know, it's terrible. But if we don't stop what is causing it is going to get worse. Hello?
Hi, Mutty.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Hi, not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad, brother. Daryl Vaz.
Eh?
Daryl Vaz.
I caught the voice.
You caught the voice?
Yes.
How is everything?
Not too bad. Well, in a personal way. You know?
Yes. Mutty, I called to give you a little incident that happened about an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
There is a bridge in West Portland called the Silver Hill Bridge.
Yes, I know that.
You know Silver Hill Bridge, which is part of the main thoroughfare between Buff Bay and Newcastle.
Yes.
Above this bridge is the Abercott Primary and Junior High School, which is probably one of the major schools, being primary and junior high, up in the valley.
Yes.
A couple hundred students there. About 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the students and the parents and the residents had a demonstration about the bridge, because if you know the bridge, you know that it's a very major drop from the bridge to the river.
Mr. Vaz.
Below it.
Mr. Vaz. What are you telling me? That the bridge has collapsed?
No, the bridge hasn't collapsed.
Oh, all right. Go ahead then.
The demonstration was the fact that the bridge had no railings.
Yes.
The railings had deteriorated over many years. And it was a major threat to the children because they played on the bridge, and of course, if one of them fell over, it would be fatal.
Yes.
Based on the level of the drop. I went up there the very next day and met with the residents up there, and they told me that this was an existing problem for years and years and years, and the reason why they had the demonstration was that there was a near incident like 2 days before.
Yes.
With some children playing on the bridge, and also the cars going across the bridge when the children are playing on the bridge, and the bridge is a narrow bridge. I undertook, now it's an NWA bridge. I investigated it, and it's a part of the major thoroughfare. I investigated, and I spoke to the residents, and I arranged to get some materials to assist them in replacing the bad rails in some cases, and some of the rails that were gone from the bridge over the years.
Yes.
And because of the rain over the last few days, the welder, who is a local welder, was unable to do anything on it because of the rain. And obviously he was in the electricity, etc. Well, they started yesterday to do some work on it, and they were there today trying to beat the rain in the afternoon, doing some work on it. Now my only input was the fact that I realized the danger of it, and the fact that they were getting no joy from NWA over the years.
Yes.
So I treated it as a community project.
Yes.
I provide the materials, and they provide the labor.
Yes.
Well, I just got a call a while ago from the welder to say that the Member of Parliament, accompanied by the NWA and the police, have gone up there and stopped the work on the bridge. They contacted me, the NWA. I got a message to call the NWA, who I contacted, who told me that they had stopped the work because I did not get permission to do any repairs to the bridge. Now, if that is so, then I am wrong, and I should have gotten permission if that is the case, and I will seek to deal with that. But at the same time, I don't think that it is right that they start the work with the possibility of these children, in the time that they start the work, that one of them having a serious injury or a fatal injury.
You know, Mr. Vaz, this is an issue of priorities. What is more important? To get you to seek permission to do the job, or to get the job done?
Well, you know, I'm in no way saying that if it is the NWA's bridge, you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, yes.
And I have no problem with that. But
yes.
as you rightly said a while ago, I just thought that getting it done and making sure that the citizens and the children especially were safe from falling over the bridge. And then now to have the member of parliament. Now I don't know whether he went specifically or he's on tour, because you know election is nigh, eh?
But the member of parliament isn't running again?
No, not running again. I was quite surprised that it was him there and not the candidate. But the fact is that they have stopped the work based on the thing that it has to be regularized with the necessary permissions granted. Now the fact of the matter is, bearing in mind that it is me who has come to the assistance of the community, the truth is that permission will probably not be forthcoming, because even if the NWA wants or is accepting the assistance, you know that the politicians are going to get involved.
Yes.
And of course they would never want it to be seen that...
Well, you know what I suggest to you, Mr. Vaz? Get on to the NWA immediately. Right? Send them an email seeking permission. Tell them the material is there. The workmen are there. You're asking permission for the work to be done. Right? And if they hold it up, well, you know, well, maybe you could even speak to them on it.
Well, the truth is that I got a message earlier that the gentleman in charge of the parish wanted to speak to me urgently. Now, this is an agency that you can get no information from as an opposition candidate, you know.
Yes.
I mean, they only answer to the member of parliament and the ministers of government. In NWA and any parish, if you ask them what roads they are repairing, who is the contractor, how much money they're spending, they tell you plain and straight, you know, that they have no authority to discuss anything with you. Because you're not the elected representative.
I see.
So when I spoke to him a while ago, I actually said to him, I said, you know, I feel so honored to have gotten a message to call you. But then
you did speak to him?
When I heard the nature of the call after, I realized why. Because he proceeded to tell me that beside him was standing the member of parliament. And that he understands from this community that it is me who is carrying out this work. And as such, he's given me instructions to stop immediately until such time as we regularize the permission to do work on the bridge. So he wasn't calling me to give me any information or any news. He was just telling me plain and straight that his MP was beside him and this was the decision. But the more salient point, Mutty, the materials for that bridge total about $75,000, right?
Yes.
And this is a bridge, you know the bridge, that has been in disrepair for years and years and years. And it comes back to the same point, the priorities of the spending of government funding. Because here it is that hundreds of children are at danger of falling over a bridge with no railings. But yet still, we can do all that we have done in recent weeks and months in preparation
Cricket World Cup,
for the hosting of the World Cup.
Yes.
For which I don't know if my figures are correct, but I understand that the March figures so far, tourist arrivals, are showing a 4% decline over last year.
So I gather, yes.
And my other information is that it is the estimate is 9,000 visitors to the island for the cricket. And when you put that into 9 billion, it's $1 billion visitor. So I will continue to do what I can do in trying to ease the plight of the people in West Portland. But it comes straight back to the fact that, in other words, if the priorities were right and you spent money and did what you should do with it, then I wouldn't be in a position where I would have to get involved in providing materials to fix our NWA bridge.
Yes.
Would I?
No.
Bearing in mind that you have the $6 billion North Coast Highway from Ocho West to Portland, which is going to give us beautiful highways. But once you come off of the highway and go into the byways, the people can barely come out to go to school.
Well, the problem is how to get from beyond the byways onto the highways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I just thought I would just advise you, and I'm going to follow your advice. I'm going to send off a letter as we speak.
Yes.
Just saying that I apologize for not seeking the requisite permission.
Yes.
But I'm asking that the people of Silver Hill and the surrounding communities be not.
Yes.
But I will keep you up to speed.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
All the best to you. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
You know that the things that must take time raising,
The what?
little. The food stuff and so forth in the shop, them take time raising little.
Take time?
It raising up.
Them
Price
taking
are
time?
going up, man.
Eh?
The price
Yes.
are going up little, man.
But I didn't know it was taking time. I thought it was rushing.
But so I wonder if it's the Cricket World Cup costing that. Hey, Mutty, it look like it's the Cricket World Cup
No,
costing
it
that.
couldn't be Cricket World Cup, man. Cricket World Cup is there to give the government a boost.
Oh my. I tell you that people balling, people feeling it.
Oh, yes?
Because where I live, Mutty, people can't even buy a loaf of bread good now.
Yes.
And remember, the shop them don't sell.
And
half
God
like
help
one
them if
time.
them depending on NIS pension.
The shop them don't sell half of bread like one time.
Incidentally, I see that some the NHT fund, the amount that is available to people is going to be increased.
Okay.
Eh?
Huh? Yes, man. That must increase, man.
Yes, man.
Fly right up.
Government will get a boost from that too.
But Mutty, the shop them don't sell half a bread again, you know, Mutty.
Uh-huh.
Yes, the shop don't sell half a bread again. You have to can buy the whole of bread.
And how much for the bread?
And the bread now is for $120 a one.
120.
120, and I think since the $10 gone on now is 130.
Oh.
So you know what's going on. This Cricket World Cup now look pretty power, you know.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. Back here online. Hello?
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. Who is in charge of raising the thing them? Is it reading the budget and so forth?
Raising what?
Like raising up the things them in the shops and in the supermarket and so forth. It have to call in the budget like you read it in the budget first?
No, I don't think the budget has, this is a function of inflation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, the prices can be going up, because the dollar is going down, or it can be going up because of, for other reasons, and that would have an effect on the value of the dollar too.
Okay. I think it's a little hide and seek was going on.
A bigger one?
I thought it was a hide and seek going on. Like, they hide and raise up the things them and people. You understand?
I am not sure. That would be an increase in the taxes.
Okay.
But of course the taxes are going up.
Okay.
Because as the prices rise, the GCT rises.
Okay. I have a point that I want to ask you. I was the person that talking to you about the dogs. Remember about the dogs and the ambassador? Well, I come off of that now. I want to say one more thing to you now. About homosexuality.
About homosexuality?
Yeah, homosexuality. I hear your point, your view on it and your points. Which I agree with some of it. And I don't agree with a little of it. You say everybody have them rights to do what they want to do, right?
Provided that in doing so, they do not trample upon the rights of others.
Okay, yes. Well, yes, I understand you. But what I want to say to you now is that you saw
Speak up a bit for me.
Huh?
Speak up a bit.
Yeah, you saw Jamaica run now?
Yes.
With the corruption in the country.
Yes.
And so forth. To bring those law, Mutty, to bring out those law to make people can do whatsoever them want to do, Mutty. You see this corruption thing, Mutty?
No, don't put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody wants to murder somebody else,
yeah,
I'm not arguing that they should have the right to do that.
No, I'm not saying that, Mutty.
I'm saying that if people want to do things in the privacy of their own homes, right?
Yes.
And in doing so, are not trampling upon the rights, in any way infringing the rights of other people, right?
Yeah.
Then they should be free to do so.
Yes, I agree with you, but you listen my point now.
Yes.
My point that I'm putting across to you is that remember that people lack of opportunity bad in Jamaica. So you would have people who have it, like as Mr. Siaga said, they have and they have not. Right?
Yes.
I feel you have people like they have nothing, Mr. Perkins. We try bring some of these youth, well, low class and on the road begging, try to boot them in this thing, Mutty. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
You have people with boots them in it, so we have to stamp out corruption out of the country first, and then we can deal with all of that.
Yes,
everything.
But hold on a minute now.
Yes, Mutty.
What you're saying is that there are some people, some youngsters, who are so desperate in terms of their needs and their lack of income, and haven't got parents who has the income to to help them, and so on and so forth.
Yes,
many of them starving.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to take advantage of them and offers them a money in return for sexually abusing them, then they will be tempted to go that way.
Yes,
right?
That is the
no, I'm not supporting that.
Yeah.
That's a quite different matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about two adults, both of whom are, let us say, homosexuals.
Yeah.
And they want to indulge in homosexuality. It's none of my business.
Yo, yeah, man, them free. They're free, man.
Right?
Them free, yeah.
And I heard a religious argument on one of the programs, may have been Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
The church is representative of the church is putting up religious arguments about this.
Yeah.
But I would like the opportunity to ask one of these churchmen, who thinks that homosexuality is sin, right?
But I hear enough of them.
How is it? Yeah. Who is it that made the homosexual?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same God that made the rest of us? Huh?
No, that can't be so. It's
Why?
Not, no, it's people.
Eh?
People. I feel it's just people thinking, or which way they want to.
But hold on, sir.
Yes, Mutty.
You clearly are heterosexual.
Yeah.
Right? You love the girls.
Yeah.
No, did you at any point in your life sit down, right?
Yes, sir.
And do some serious thinking now. Which way should I go? Should I go the homosexual way, or should I go towards the girls? Did you do that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I didn't do it either.
No, I didn't.
Right?
No. Yes.
And therefore,
yes.
I don't think that the fellow who is a homosexual did it either. I haven't met one man who has told me that he had to sit down and do some serious thinking, right?
Yeah.
And decide which way he was going to go.
But
I think that heterosexuals, those of us who grow up and find ourselves attracted to girls, right?
Yeah.
Cannot claim that it is personal virtue that led us into that.
That's true.
That we just did what came naturally.
That's true.
Right?
Yes, Mr.
And I think that the same thing is true of the homosexual.
Okay, I understand the
right?
way that you put it.
And that therefore, the homosexual, to a considerable degree, I mean, the homosexual is naturally homosexual. The heterosexual is naturally heterosexual. Now, I don't know if there are some cases in which some little boy may have been broken into homosexuality by, some adult in the environment.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yes, I'm not following.
I can't tell you that has never happened.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that homosexuals are born homosexuals.
Okay.
Heterosexuals born heterosexuals.
Yeah, I understand.
And therefore there is no great virtue in being a heterosexual, and consequently no great sin in being homosexual.
Okay, yes, I understand you. I understand what you're saying. I understand. You have some of the church people that know say kill him. I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, I
thou
think
shalt not kill.
I think that is absurd.
Yes, very absurd. Very absurd.
If you like girls, go to the girls.
Yes,
if you like boys, go to the boys.
I'm not staying long with you, but I'd leave a number to talk to you after here the last time, and
I see. Yes. I probably my fault. I forgot about it.
Yeah, and I still need to talk to you about something very, very important after here. Yes, so I can left my number with you and you call me anytime.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right.
Do that for me.
All right.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
This is Harry Wanda, the banana man. You remember this man, Harry Wanda? That plant the banana.
Yes.
One PNP and one Labour. You remember that man?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Labour banana now gone way ahead.
Labour banana gone way ahead?
Yeah, gone way ahead. I JLP, I the PNP now might have grow fast.
Why you think so?
Why, me market them say, I saw me test it to be here, With Labour Party in progress.
But you don't think the PNP going to get a boost from World Cup?
It's rough. It's rough.
You don't think they're going to get a boost from World Cup?
World Cup? Boss can't tell them, say, Douglas, the man there say, tell me get a boost from the World Cup. And the people, them mind, man. The people of Jamaica. But the people, them have foreign vote, and we, the people, them of Jamaica, man.
I see.
Anyway, I call upon an issue,
Yes.
Them say, the taxi, the car man, on the road. The government say, put the tax on them if they catch them and do something wrong or something things. Them pay 40,000. Don't it? If them,
Yes.
If them say pay 40,000, you think say if you settle it when you hold a traffic offense and you say alright, pay 3,000, you'll have corruption in the police force. As can't to what them say, a lot of corruption in the police force through motor car man them a ball pan it. If the government is say pay 3,000 when you hold you, them not look pan it, the policeman say, we not give no 40,000 or 20,000 out of 40,000. So better, we go pay it to the government. And the bench said, make the fine at 2,000 and 3,000. You say less corruption in the police force. You don't believe me? But a policeman that say, boy, let me give policeman out of 3,000, me give him a 1,000. The policeman that say, boy, me not take that. That's some more money. But now, the fine 40,000 all in here. You man now say, alright, give me 20. And nobody got court. And that cause type of corruption. Then, a lot of corruption. You don't believe me?
Well, I can see the argument.
Yeah, by policeman go say, boy, take a 1,000. 1,000 not use to a policeman. You can't buy a drink. But then raise the fine to 40,000, 50,000. The policeman go say, give me 25 or 20. And go on the rest and nobody got no court. So that's lots of corruption. So
yes.
I cause it like force.
You think this is feeding corruption?
Yeah, lots of corruption that. Me go a shop all day and me buy a pack of green tea. Me pay $45 feet. 45 cents. And now me go a shop at $65 feet now. One box of milk at $65 cow milk. And water we mix now in a box.
Hold on a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. Back here.
Perkins. Me I tell you, sir, I look at things say me the man Harry Wanda. They know if he make fashion. But sometimes I can't even find what you think me do. You hear me?
Yeah, me I hear you.
Me cook 2 peas and rice. What you think me cook? Me like half meat, you know. Me get the salt fish and my granny just learn me how to cook me a little bit. Me get the salt fish and me put in a water overnight. And when me get up in the morning, Me watch it, soak it out, and watch it, and take a cooked 2 peas and rice. Well seasoned it up, not no nice so. Me lack off meat, but me can't buy it. Me have vegetable, man. The fish nice. No people want to hear it. The salt fish good. Roast the bone and scrape it. And take it by 2 peas and rice. No nice so. You know see it?
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, let me tell you something, son.
No, I heard on a radio show last night. Yesterday, something about saltfish. People are consuming less saltfish than they used to.
No, sir, you love to cook it. You, Mr. Perkins, you do it, sir. You put the saltfish in the water and put it in your fridge. By a man, you come out all like salt suck out. And it get fresh. And you roast the man. And eat him like no salt in the night. So I say you have to get rid of it, man. You have to learn to make fashion, man. Me I tell you, why be sorry for the people them? The most you have to do now, you have to just put God in front. And you don't understand. For Mr. Perkins, it's rough, family. It's rough. Very rough. As me I tell about the police when I say I take bribe, I don't know if police I take bribe. But me say if they find less upon the profit, you will find less things as well and say the police will take. But if you say pay 3,000, 4,000, and you look for the police and the policeman say give me something, you give him 1,000. The man will say, "Cho, we got that, better me go to court and get the judge a fine." But when you say 50,000, 60,000 for your fine for your vehicle, and the policeman say give me 20, you're glad to give him and save 40. So, me ask the government to look into that.
Yes.
And see if we can drop the fine. Mr. Perkins, me I tell you, man, have a good day. God go with you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Hold on. Where you holding on? Mr.
Hello?
Perkins?
Yes, man.
I'm going to sing this little song, man. My granny just sing it.
What?
It, man.
I'm not hearing that.
I'm going to sing a little song here. That's my granny just sing and I learn it. Listen it. Heart to the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rose away. It was near by near. I received my sight, and now I am happy holiday. This is Harry Francis, known as Harry Wonder.
All right. Thank you very much, Harry. Okay, hello?
Yeah.
Yes? Hello?
Hello, Mutty?
Yes.
Long time I talk to you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man.
What's happened?
Nothing much. You notice how the traffic have been, you have a serious traffic built up for a few months now? I don't know if you haven't noticed that.
Heavy traffic?
Yes, more than before.
Uh-huh.
You don't know what caused it.
What's the cause of it?
The traffic guru, man. I think they call traffic guru, them who some money and them 1 p.m. Me say them PM, so I hope if me start to ease up the traffic thing there now.
Yes.
Make we have it like easier on the road.
Yes.
Can you notice that the pedestrians reaching faster than we know, you know?
Uh-huh.
You haven't noticed that?
The pedestrians?
Yeah, people who walk can reach certain places
moving faster than the people who drive.
Yeah, man, you have noticed it in certain areas.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, man, I drive on behind the traffic, and see that people walking alongside.
Yes, and you pass the person walking.
Yeah, man.
And then she walks and passes you.
Yeah, man. That's my talk about, man. So I hope the traffic will start to ease up now.
Yes. I hear that there's some more interesting stuff to come on this traffic matter, you know. Yeah, man.
Well, getting bigger and bigger then.
I hear so.
Mutty.
Yeah.
I've been hearing you yesterday on this homosexual thing, and I heard it today too.
Yes.
I think you're talking madness, you know, Mutty.
Is that so?
Yes.
Why?
What you were saying yesterday about either people, you were asking a man a question whether people, get it naturally or they just practice it, something like that. Can you rephrase that for me? You remember that question you asked a caller? You don't remember?
What were you saying?
You were discussing it with a caller. I can't remember exactly how you put it now, but you asked him something like whether homosexuality is something just practiced or something come naturally.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
Yes.
Can you put it
Well, the question is,
huh?
the question that I would ask
Yeah.
is whether persons become homosexual as a result of a desire to be homosexual, or do they grow up and find themselves homosexual? Which do you think it is?
Well, I have learned by scientists that they have discovered that it is not something that comes naturally.
You have learned this by scientists?
Yes.
Now, on what
People
basis?
have done research and doctors.
On what basis have these scientists arrived at these conclusions?
I can't tell you, but they have done research, and they have proven that nobody became homosexual by being born an homosexual. It is by practice that they eventually...
What about heterosexuals?
Heterosexual? Well, I mean, you mean like man or woman?
No, yes, the man who has a preference for women.
Yeah? That is known to be natural.
That is natural.
Yes, and that is known by every, have to be an intellectual or a person who is a learned person to know that. By nature, everybody know that.
Well, what is the evidence on which these supposed scientists have come to the conclusion that homosexuals have become homosexual as a result of what practice?
I am not a scientist, but look here. Let me tell you this. I don't even have to go there. Homosexuality is an abnormal situation. It's a sickness.
I don't know about that.
You don't know that?
No.
Why you don't? Why you think it is normal?
Well, I think it is normal to homosexuals.
But what are you talking stupidness,
Why?
It's a stupidness because look here, man. It is without even reading the scriptures. It is known that when it comes to reproduction, everything as male and female, right?
Yes, but that is neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. What do you mean by that?
It is neither here nor there.
Explain that.
Well, the homosexuals cannot reproduce on the basis of their homosexual behavior, right? But that does not mean that homosexuality is abnormal for the homosexual.
But Mutty, look here now, man. If somebody is sick, right? You have a madman who is mad and don't accept that he's mad, and them call the person who is saying mad people too.
Yes.
Right? You don't want to accept it. Because maybe not even aware that he's mad. But a man who is not a madman supposed to be able to tell him.
Hold on a moment. When you consider the stigma against that homosexuality bears in a country like this, would you have set out to become a homosexual?
Not
as
me.
a matter of choice?
Not me, but it happens.
No,
not me.
No. But what reason is there for supposing that anybody who is homosexual perversely decided that they were going to go the route of homosexuality, although their natural inclination was to be heterosexual?
But even if it is so...
I'm asking you.
No, I'm saying to you. I'm answering you.
Yes.
Even if their natural inclination is so, right?
Yes.
Their knowledge of creation and what the born comes see, what is natural and what is normal,
yes,
will tell them, even if they find themselves liking that,
yes,
that it is still not right.
But
because they like it so much, they want to be accepted by what is normal.
Hold on a moment. If what you are saying, if you're admitting that some young persons grow up finding themselves naturally inclined towards homosexuality, right? And who follow their natural inclinations despite the difficulties that they know they face, then that is undermining the argument that you came with.
Mutty, no, I'm not saying this so. I'm saying, I'm putting a supposition. I'm not saying, I'm not accepting that it's natural and normal, because it is nothing named natural or normal.
In any event, sir.
It is an abnormal situation.
Right. Okay.
Right?
That is your view.
Huh? No, but hold on, Mutty.
Now, let me ask you this question. Right?
Yeah.
If two adult men, decide that they want to go the homosexual route, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they carry on this business in their bedroom. What business is it of yours? How does it affect you?
I'm not talking about in their bedroom. You know what I'm talking about, Mutty?
What are you talking about?
Is that they want the wider cross-section of the public or people to accept it as normal, right? And to give them the right to be able to behave like man and woman publicly.
But
that's the problem.
But when you say behave like man and woman publicly, what do you mean?
That it is acceptable.
You mean that they hold hands walking down the street?
Just like how man and woman behave in a very, what you call it now, in an intimate relationship.
An intimate relationship?
Huh?
Which man and woman behave in an intimate relationship on the street?
Oh, you mean, you see man and woman kissing on the street, man?
Yes.
Which is a normal thing to do. You can't hug your wife and kiss her in the public. You want to see a man and a man hugging and kissing in the public?
What business would it be of mine?
What business?
Yes.
The thing is so stinking and so sickly that I don't understand you, Mutty. What happened?
I don't understand you.
No.
If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
No, but Mutty.
But if two other men do it, how does this affect you?
Oh, Mutty, you know what happened?
Hold on a moment. Hold on a little bit. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here.
Yeah, Mutty.
Mutty,
I'm saying to you.
Yes, sir. Look here. My short answer to you is, if you do not want to be a homosexual, don't be a homosexual.
But it's not so.
But if you are a homosexual, I don't see how that affects me.
Mutty.
Right? It is no business of mine.
No, it's not so, Mutty.
Right?
We're talking about, look here, listen to me. We're talking about what is normal and what is abnormal.
Look, sir.
What is a sickness and what is healthy.
Yes, all right.
Right?
Okay. Now you have your opinions about that. Right? Well, fine.
But it's not just an
you
opinion.
have a right. You have a right to those
But
opinions.
it's not just an opinion and a right to know what it. What are you saying?
What?
You know, you are becoming very abnormal in your thinking.
Is that so?
You're very abnormal in your thinking in this particular.
I think that's a compliment that you're paying me.
A compliment?
Yes.
No, to my mind, it is not a compliment.
Yeah, man.
Because you are promoting homosexuality by this abnormal thinking.
Don't talk rubbish.
I'm telling you that.
You know.
I'm suggesting that to you, Mutty.
No, hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit. Your own thinking processes are flawed.
Fraud?
I am not promoting homosexuality. I am not encouraging anybody to be homosexual.
You are indirectly doing it and you don't even know it.
I am not doing that.
You're not even aware of it that you are doing that, Mutty.
I'm not. Don't be absurd.
Absurd?
I am saying that if somebody else is homosexual, some man is homosexual, this is none of my business.
Mutty, the fact that you are saying,
me.
Mutty, the very fact that you are saying that, right? As if you're not certain that the thing is abnormal or a sickness, that tells me that you are not thinking normal. That's what that is telling me. Because you're not sure if it is a sickness or if it is abnormal. I mean, look on every year of life, right? Whether the plant life, whether animal life, human life, everything has been made. The Creator made everything male and female, man. Right? And anything, and reproduction is a very important part of the situation, right? And anything else contrary to that,
let me ask you something.
Sickness and abnormality.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
People, couples, male and female, engage in sexual acts, right?
Mm-hmm.
In how many of those sexual acts, in what proportion of the sexual acts that any couple engages in, what proportion of those are intended to result in procreation?
That is a very absurd question. That is stupid.
It is not
question.
absurd.
Because you know why it is stupid?
It is
because
not absurd.
people have a right. Look here. Those people have a right.
No, hold on a little bit. You are telling me that heterosexuality is a normal thing. Because that is a route to reproduction. That is the route to reproduction.
And the normal mind know that. Not
Yes.
only reproduction.
I am
Not only
asking
reproduction,
you,
that's
sir.
only one
I am asking you, how many times does a normal, in what proportion of the
But if people have a choice,
sexual
if they
acts
want them or the children
in
that they want to have,
a typical couple
according to who
engagement,
they can afford to have them, right? But they get pleasure out of it. Pleasure is a part of the thing.
so
Sexuality
hold on a
has
little
to do with pleasure.
So hold on a little bit. The sexual act, the purpose of it is not confined to reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
That's one of the main thing. That's one of the reasons for sexuality.
Look here, sir. I am not in any argument with you, right?
Yeah.
If you go hold your view, right? I will hold mine.
I didn't hear that.
I say you hold your view.
Yeah.
You have a right to hold your view. I will continue to hold mine.
Mutty, this is not
as
just a
I
view,
have
you know,
a right
Mutty.
to do.
Mutty, listen to me.
Right?
This is not just a view, you know. Mutty, this is a thing according to any normal mind. You don't have to be an intellectual to know that, right? That the thing is a sickness and it is abnormality, and that every aspect of life you have made and female for pleasure, not only for reproduction, but also for pleasure.
You continue to define normal mind as you choose, right? Keep it to yourself.
No, I'm not keeping it to
And be
myself,
happy.
Mutty.
Okay.
Because my intelligence has let me know that is abnormal, and the few people that are abnormal, right?
You
they
know,
don't
sir,
want to accept that it is abnormal. They want us to accept.
Let me suggest something to you. That you think that you are far more intelligent than you are.
Well,
Okay?
well, in this case, I know I'm very intelligent.
You think
in this
so?
case,
eh?
I know I'm very
Fine,
intelligent.
I
in
know
this
you think so.
particular case.
I know you think so, but
I don't think so.
thinking
I know
so does not make it so.
Eh?
Right?
Well, Mutty, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mutty. Do not promote this thing anymore because the thing is nasty. The thing is out of order. The thing is sickness. The thing is abnormal.
I think you have a sickness, sir.
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, if the
Right?
sickness is to oppose homosexuality, I don't mind that sickness.
Well,
I enjoy the sickness.
yes. All right. Well, go ahead and enjoy it. Right?
No, stop promoting Mutty. You are my friend, and I wanted to stop promoting.
No,
you have
I'm
been
not
promoting it too
promoting
long. You're going worse and worse every day with it, right?
I'm not promoting anything.
Please stop it, Mutty. You're my friend.
Right.
I don't want you to get in between this thing, you know. Right?
I'm not promoting anything.
You know, the people of Jamaica stay when it comes to this thing.
Oh,
Now that
come on.
I agree with the violence, right? But I'm against the whole thing very much. Because it's against God himself.
Yes. Okay. Well, you enjoy yourself.
Okay, Mutty.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Hello. What is it? Do we have some email here?
Mr. Perkins. Mutty, this is an email, and it's about the criticism by the Pakistani Senate Standing Committee on Sports. Mutty, this is one of the rare occasions when I'll run to the defense of the Jamaican government. The mudslinging has started, and if we don't curb it quickly, we'll be left with an international disaster. While it is unfortunate that Mr. Wilmot met his untimely death in Jamaica, I'm happy to say that as someone who has always been critical of our security forces, I'm very proud of the arrangements so far. The great USA and their allies in the UK have had more than their fair share of security challenges, generally at sporting events. I'll make mention of the Olympic bombing in Atlanta and leave it at that. The government of Jamaica, and by extension the local organizing committee, has nothing to be ashamed of. I call upon the Foreign Affairs to be swift and resolute in its response to Zafar Iqbal Chaudhry.
Yes, I think I can for the most well agree with a lot of what you've said there, except that I'm not sure that the investigation has gone as as I think that there has been a fair amount of what seems to be confusion when for example they saw this man there with obviously there must have been obvious evidence of if it is true that he was strangled, then all the doctors that I've heard commenting on this have expressed the view that it would have been readily recognizable from just looking at the man. Now, why it took them so long to come to the conclusion that that is what had happened. And, there are other things that seem to me to be confused about the investigation, So I don't think that Jamaica has too much to be proud of there. But apart from that, we haven't got an argument. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Perkins, once again you're allowing yourself to be a willing ally to the PNP and spinners. Can't you see that they have come up with this business of homosexuality to take away public interest from the failure of CWC to generate the boom that they told us all that it would? I heard the pathetic story of the Wando village from two of the people who had bought stalls there on radio yesterday evening. I felt very sorry for them. They have not got back their money yet, as a spokesman for the CWC had said. Mr. Perkins, if I were the PNP, I would stay very clear away from the subject of homosexuality. I would not be in a hurry to open that can of worms.
I don't know what that is about.
Mr. Perkins, as for what is happening with the World Cup, you should be careful how you gloat so much about its failure. They will say that you are losing your objectivity and your credibility.
Do I gloat about its failure? Hold on just a moment. We take a break. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Back with the email.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, we have an email here reminding listeners about the appeal for O negative blood for Hilma Walker and Ward 4 at the University of the Hospital of the West Indies. It's a rare blood type, the email says, and it's O negative. Please try to help if you can.
Yes.
With your donations of blood.
If you have O negative blood.
Mr. Perkins, here's a story that you mentioned about the drop in the consumption of saltfish. It's taken a little bit of a rise recently with the introduction of boneless saltfish. But, for instance, in year 2001, someone sent us, it's in the Business Observer today, and our blog sent us. It's in 2001, 916,250 kilograms of saltfish.
16,000.
250 kilograms.
Saltfish was consumed
in Jamaica. Or was imported. Yes. It dropped by 2005 to 13,000. 883 kilograms. Which they're showing that now that it's going up a little bit from the 13,000 with the
I wonder what it was.
Appearance of on the market of boneless saltfish, but it's still way below the kilogram, the tonnage that used to be.
I wonder if it is something else that
it's a cost.
Replaced it, or
it's
just
a cost. It's
reduction.
100 and
people can't afford to eat saltfish.
Yes.
Well.
It's $367 per kilo.
Yes, well, that's a serious thing. If what is happening is that consumption is going down, well, if it is affecting
it's a valuable source of protein.
If it is affecting saltfish, it may be affecting other things too.
Here is some mail from Reuters. Kingston, Jamaica, Reuters. Jamaica was making headway against its murderous reputation before the strangulation of Pakistani cricket coach Bob Wilmot further tarnished the image of the Caribbean tourist playground. Long known for one of the highest murder capital rates in the world, the tropical island, famed for Rasta and reggae, has nailed one of its major crime bosses in recent times, and last year finally put a dent in its murder rate. But the mystery surrounding Wilmot's death and recent gang trouble in Jamaica, primary tourist haven, Montego Bay, adds to the violent image of this nation of 2.7 million. I believe it is too early to say the country is getting safer, said Anthony Harriott, a professor of political sociology at the University of the West Indies and a leading authority on Jamaican crime. Recent Jamaican leaders have publicly acknowledged violent crime, which festers in pockets of poverty endemic to the region, as the island's biggest problem. Jamaica is the Caribbean's biggest producer and exporter of marijuana and a major hub for the transshipments of South American cocaine headed to North America and Europe. This is a huge problem for Jamaica. Wilmot's death on March 18th comes in a year that is off to a bloody start, with 316 murders through to March 20. The violence, once largely contained in Kingston slums, spread alarmingly to Montego Bay, the hub of the tourist trade, that last year brought record numbers of visitors and earnings. Last year, tourism revenues hit $1.4 billion in the January-September period.
That's Reuters.
It's Reuters.
The news agency.
Yes.
Well, you know, I was expecting this kind of thing to happen. That the death of this man, although for all we know, having nothing directly to do with Jamaica except the fact that it happened here, and again, for all we know, not committed by a Jamaican, that it was going to result in a focus of attention on the crime pattern in Jamaica, right? And when the people in government were talking about all the publicity that Jamaica would get out of this World Cup events, which would have a wonderful impact upon our tourism industry, I don't think that they were thinking seriously enough and taking into consideration the likelihood of things going in the direction that has gone in that Reuters report. Right? The focus upon the crime pattern in Jamaica and other things to do with the way things are going in this country.
Again, we make an appeal for the O negative type blood for this lady in Ward 4 at the University Hospital. Wilmot, Mutty Perkins. As much as my wife said I'm starting to sound like you, I want to comment on the topic you had with the last caller. If you think that homosexual behavior is something that someone is born with, then you must also believe that these other forms of unnatural sexual acts, such as having sex with a minor, having sex with an animal, etc., is not a choice, but a sexual preference that someone is born with. If you say then that these other sexual acts are by choice, or that they are sickening, then you need to include homosexuality in that group as well. If homosexuality was a natural way of life, we would not need both man and woman on this earth. This is by choice, just as the other sexual behavior. And it's from Florida.
That is flawed reasoning. To begin with, I don't know. I have no reason for thinking that carnal abuse is a natural course. Well, put it this way, it may well be natural, but it is illegal. I mean, there are heterosexuals who have an inclination to have sexual affairs with young persons. But the fact is that in indulging that passion, that person is affecting a child, a young person, who in law is not competent to make a decision about whether she or he will indulge in a sexual act with that person, right? So the question of whether it is natural or normal or whatever does not arise here. Well, it might arise and we can discuss it. I don't know. I have no evidence one way or the other about it. But all I'm saying is that what I'm arguing is that persons who have homosexual impulses, I am prepared to treat that as normal and natural, and to say that if persons who have such impulses indulge those impulses one with another, adults who are fit to make decisions as to what they will do along those lines, that is fine, right? People have a right to make their own choices, provided that in doing so they do not in any way abuse the rights of others. And for some adult person to have indulge in a sexual act with a child violates that principle. It is against the law, and rightly so, and should therefore not be allowed. Okay? But that is quite a different thing from two 30-year-old men engaging in homosexuality in the privacy of their own house. Yes.
Mutty, you're a very careless man. I hear you saying that you don't think the police will ever find the killer.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, there was a continuation of that report, by the Reuters correspondent, yes. Kingston, Jamaica, carried on CNN report, March 27. It was on another page, but anyway, I continue. It's crime campaign. It has to do with the Wilmot murder.
Yes.
In October 2004, Jamaica launched Operation Kingfish, an intelligence-based unit aimed at taking out crime bosses. It scored some major successes against the rampant drug trafficking, gun running, and extortion rackets that create much of Jamaica's violent springs. Most notable were the killing of alleged Klansman gang chief Donovan Bulby Bennett in a police shootout, and the successful prosecution of Donald Zeeks Phipps, the diminutive Don of Matthews Lane in Tough, West Kingston, for the execution killing of 2 men. Amnesty International, normally critical of Jamaican justice, particularly extrajudicial killings by police, recently complimented Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller for the country's efforts to control violence against women and girls. Jamaica's Deputy Police Commissioner Mark Shields, a former Scotland Yard detective, noted the success of Operation Kingfish and said Jamaica's battle to tame its entrenched crime problem is going pretty well. You know, we have a reputation for murder, and we're not going to hide from that fact, he said. But let's put things in perspective, and you'll see that it's well under 1% of the murders that occur in this country affect tourists, particularly business people or indeed any visitor. He conceded, however, that the slaying of one of Wilmot, the most prominent cricket coaches in the world, by strangulation in his hotel room at a host hotel, supposedly under tight security for the Cricket World Cup, marks a setback. Wilmot, 58, was killed on March 18th, shortly after the shocking ouster of the powerful Pakistani team from the tournament. The murder is a mystery, but police have said he may have been killed by someone he knew, and speculations rampant that match fixing was involved. Wilmot's slaying probably was the most prominent crime in Jamaica since former world boxing champion Trevor Burbrick was killed in a machete attack last October. So you see,
that's the end of that.
That's the end of that. So you see, yes, it's all over now.
What is happening? What is clearly happening is that the killing of Wilmot has led to a focus upon the crime situation in Jamaica, right? And I suspect that we're going to have a lot of that. It isn't only Reuters that it was on Reuters. It was a Reuters story, and it was on CNN last night.
On the 27th.
On the 27th.
Yes.
When was that? Last night?
Tuesday. Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have more and more of that, I'm sure. Anyway.
Mutty, you're a very careless man. I hear you saying that you don't think the police will ever find the killer of Bob Wilmot. You'd better be careful they don't arrest you for the murder. Crime solved. Mutty, remember P.J. Patterson saying that Portia was the PNP's only hope for the 5th term?
Yes.
Well, that all changed now. Brian Lara and the West Indies team is now the only hope. What a pricky. And here's a letter somebody just stuck under my nose.
What is that? Oh.
Mutty, I don't believe that Bob Wilmot's case will ever be solved. Not in this century, anyway. Remember, they are still speculating in America over the death of JFK. So there's a precedent.
Yes, well, I don't know. I think that the JFK, there is rather less speculation about JFK's death in America than there is about a lot of others here in Jamaica.
And this letter just came in for you. Dear Mr. Perkins, please to read this letter. I would like you to warn all law-abiding citizens to be very careful when they go to the bank to draw out money, especially of a certain age. Do not go alone. It seems as if there is people in the bank who tells their confederates outside who is collecting money. They trail the person to his or her residence and demand the money, or he or she would be killed. This is from a victim who was robbed.
Oh. Well, I don't know, another instance of terrible crime in Jamaica.
Mr. Perkins, on a final note, all this hoodoo about World Cup cricket, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such a time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic and or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by extension the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. And this was said by Goebbels, propaganda minister of the Third Reich.
Yes. Is that it?
For the time being, sir.
Okay, well, let's go back to our telephone callers. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello, Mutty.
Yes, sir, good afternoon to you.
Vancouver calling, long time.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I just had to pick up the phone and call you. I haven't heard that last caller, Mutty.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis homosexuality and an email that was read.
Yes.
The individual is a perfect idiot.
The what?
It's typical of Jamaican male homophobic thinking. And a lot of us grew up in Jamaica being indoctrinated. And I myself was up to a point in life of similar thoughts as that last caller.
Yes.
But as a child, we should act and think as a child. And as an adult, we should act and think and educate ourselves as adults.
Yes.
And I think what you should do, Mutty, is explain to these people, your listening audience, and particularly the homophobic audience, that homosexuality and pedophilia are two different things. Also,
yes, that's quite true.
Also, many children are born in this world with gender anomalies where the doctors themselves cannot distinguish properly whether the child, the infant, is a male or a female.
That is quite true.
And have to determine by doing a gene test on the infant as to what genes and hormones, etc., etc. I'm not a medical person, but I know they have to do a test to see where the leaning is, whether the child is more female than male, although it may look more male than female, or vice versa.
Yes.
As a result of which, many children are born and brought up in one gender when the child is infinitely the other gender. And that comes out and manifests itself as the child grows up. The child has no control over whether it is female or male. It's what's in the child.
Yes.
So when these people talk to you, all this hogwash and rubbish about choosing, about they choose, and a child is born male or female for procreation and to have and to foster the population of the world. That does not apply to all children.
Will you hold on for a moment for me, please? Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mutty. Yeah, so I just thought I would just throw that out for your listeners. You know? That it's typical, and Jamaica is very homophobic, and I guess it's come down.
Well, I don't know how homophobic Jamaica really is, you know, sir, because there have been a number of persons who are regarded as homosexual, widely regarded as homosexual, who have occupied, high office in Jamaica, and it hasn't prevented them from succeeding in their various occupations and whatever.
Actually, you're quite right, and I'm thinking of one in particular, and we won't call any names.
Yes, all right.
But you'd think that some of the people in high office would sort of, lend their intelligence or their education to bear on the matter.
Well, part of the problem, I suppose, is that persons who are homosexuals don't want to go pushing that line. They want to keep very quiet about it. Many of them.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it has to do with the business of civilization and liberty, freedom.
Yes.
As I said, I believe that people ought to be free to make their own choices. Whether I like those choices or not is not important.
And as you always say, Mutty, and it's quite and it's so correct, is that people with the stigma attached to in a lot of places and countries to homosexuality, you would think that the people wouldn't willingly elect
to expose themselves
to be.
Hello?
They have got to either boy, who would want to have that yoke to carry around?
Absolutely.
If you were not naturally born that way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
anyway,
it seems to me that as long as people should be free to make their own choices, as long as in making those choices they are not
they don't infringe on others.
Infringing on the rights of others. Right?
Quite right.
Matter
And the
done.
difference between homosexuality and pedophilia is a completely
Absolutely.
different thing, which some of these callers try to bring in.
Yes.
Pedophilia, that's a criminal and a disgustingly, immoral act.
Because it infringes upon the rights of the child.
Precisely.
Right?
Precisely.
And that cannot be allowed.
Most homosexuals don't have any sort of pedophilia
Yes.
in them. So.
Yeah.
But they try to group it together.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway,
Absolutely.
I just thought I would give you a call, Mutty, and I'm thinking of you. The terrible thing with this Bob Wilmot, this whole cricket thing.
It seems to be focusing attention not only upon Bob Wilmot, but also upon
the situation in
upon
Jamaica.
the crime situation generally in Jamaica. Yes.
Correct. Which
Although there is no reason for thinking at this point that any Jamaican
had anything to do with
it.
Yeah, other than it was just the location.
Yes, but inevitably the crime situation in Jamaica comes into it.
Very sad.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm thinking of all of you down there coming up time for election. I heard Darrell Bars on the program this morning.
Yes.
And Port Antonio and Portland is one of my favorite parts of Jamaica, and I understand that it's really in disrepair and in a terrible state. And,
I think that is true not only of Port Antonio and Portland, but of parishes and places all over Jamaica.
Yeah, but as you say, they don't have the money.
Yes.
So anyway,
them have the money for other things. Them have the money for other things,
Quite
But
right.
the American government was warning us the other day to be careful of lapsing into a kleptocracy.
A kleptocracy?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to tell you, kleptocracy has been, going on and refined in Jamaica for a long time. I think they're becoming past masters at the task.
Well, I don't think a lot of people would disagree with you.
But, I am all right, Jack. Who gives a damn about the next?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, boy. Anyway, you take care, Mutty.
Thank you very much. All the best to you.
And I will keep on listening and hoping for the best in Jamaica.
Thank you. Look forward to hearing from
Bye-bye
you.
now.
All the best. Okay, hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mom.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, Mom.
I'm a mother. I have a son that is 9 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really want to get too much in this homosexual thing. But the thing is that you have your kids going to school, and you hear of cases where little boys have been abducted and sexually assaulted. And that sometimes start them out in being are homosexual and they grow up wanting to be with man and not a woman. It
Well,
has happened one or a few times. I know that for sure.
You
And
know-
I have a 9-year-old and I'm very worried that something like that might happen to him one of these days, and then I wouldn't want to have my son grow up and become a homosexual because I want grandchildren. You know, Mr. Perkins, and I know that everybody has a right to do what they want to do in their bedroom. But go to Megamart and behave the way they're behaving in Megamart, watch a homosexual there, shopping and behaving in a way that not even women go, and the way everybody stop shopping and staring at them the way they're behaving. I'm not getting into the issue of whether it's not natural, then they wouldn't behave the way everybody stop shopping and staring at them the way they're behaving. I'm not getting into the issue of whether it's normal or not normal, but I am afraid for my 9-year-old because any big man can seduce him and give him a pretty shoe or this or that and take him behind closed door, have sex with him, and then he becomes a homosexual, and I wouldn't probably want him to be a part of my life.
Well, I rather doubt that
because I'm even afraid to make my son go into a public bathroom to urinate without taking him inside, covering his face and take him into the ladies' bathroom. Because I hear of case where a man go take a child into the bathroom and have sex with him, and I am so scared to death, Mr. Perkins, of my 9-year-old. More than I mean, everybody have a right to do what they want to do behind in their bedroom. I agree with you on that. But the homosexuals, they can't just come out in public and want people to accept them.
But hold on, Mom. That's not the only thing that could happen to your son, you know. There are all sorts of other things that could happen to him.
I know, Mr. Perkins, I know there's a whole bunch of things that happen to him.
Yeah.
But you can imagine you take your son on the shopping mall to shop and only to realize that some man take it. Let other things exist.
And give him a gun
Other things
and
exist
encourage to go and shoot people
but the
and so on.
homosexual wants everybody so to
And
let other things exist.
And give him a gun
Other things
and
exist
encourage to go and shoot
But
people
the
and so on.
homosexual wants everybody to. Homosexual are in high places, you know, Mr. Perkins. They all high position, you know. Not like a funky job, you know.
Yes.
They hold high position and
Is
they have
that so?
money. And Mr. Perkins, if you ever see the amount of trolley of grocery they bought in Megamart, weekend gone. Not even me who have a husband can afford to buy so much grocery for even 1 month, Mr. Perkins. You understand me? And most of these ghetto boys go into it because they don't have no mother, no mother to look out for them, no job, no opportunity. Them don't some drop out of school from primary school. And
Well, don't you see? Hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit.
bending over.
Hold on a little bit now. Don't you see that is another problem?
That is a whole other issue of problem, Mr.
Right.
Perkins, because they can't
And
get
don't
a
you
job.
see?
They can't get a job.
Yes.
And they see that is the only opportunity.
Hold on. Yes.
Scary body, no, Mr. Perkins.
And don't you
so
see, Mom?
scary.
Don't you see that is a problem that has to do with the way the country is governed?
That is true. That's another point to Mr. Perkins, because I want to see this government go. It's time for them to get out.
Oh, is that so?
Mr. Perkins, I was pregnant with my daughter, and I gave birth to her, and she's 18 now. And it's 18 years now, this PD administration is in power, and it's time for them to go, Mr. Perkins, because I don't see, my daughter's in college in New York now, and I don't want her to come back to Jamaica. When she finished college, I'd rather for her to stay there so she can help me. I don't see her coming back here and getting anything here. Any job here?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, but this homosexual thing is bigger than me and you, Mr. Perkins, but I don't really want to get into it much because it's a prepaid phone I use him. But Mr. Perkins, I'm scared for my 9-year-old son. I'm afraid to leave him, let him go on the shopping mall.
Okay.
So scared.
All right,
Mr.
Mom.
Perkins,
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Willie?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Willie?
Yes.
Oh, God, man. Sure, man, you let me down, man.
What have I done?
Willie, me I listen to you for years now, Willie, man. And you the homosexual thing there, Willie, man. You condemn it, man.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, man.
Why?
All right, you know much people who call me after me don't talk to you until me say, then hear me, Ivan. And you turn off your listeners, them, Willie, man.
Oh, yes?
I think your wife is talk to you about you, Willie, man. Man, them thing they are nastiness, you know, Willie.
Let me tell you something,
You
sir.
see woman is nice, and look how when you watch you man in Power Olympic, you talk about them sexy and nice. What kind of comfort man can get from with man, Willie, man?
Hold on a little bit.
Willie, you must condemn it, Willie, man. No matter where you go.
Why should I condemn it?
Yeah, man, if you condemn it, man.
Why?
Willie, me you don't know me love listening, you know, man. You're one of the best, but you're let we don't know, Willie, man.
But why do you think I'm letting you down?
Condemn me, man, if you, Willie, man.
Look,
sure, man.
Hold on a little bit. I believe in exercising. Hold on. Hold on now.
All my sister, you know, Willie, you turn her off, you know, Willie, man.
Yes. Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Sure.
I don't believe in mere passion and prejudice, right? I believe in applying intelligence to any problem.
Well, Willie.
Right? And I think that if you apply intelligence to the issue of homosexuality, you can't just come out with a thing that is a whatever kind of something. If you
Willie, you're nastiness, that man.
Okay, so you think it is nastiness?
Yes.
Well, do not indulge in it.
But Willie, me not indulge in it, Willie.
Okay, fine. But that's an end of the matter.
Willie.
Right?
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Me have listened to you for years.
Hold on a minute. If you think it is nastiness, don't indulge in it. Now, if the other man 40 miles away from you indulges in it, how does that affect you?
Well, it affects me. I want to nephew and everything.